Oh, Shroud. Shroud, Shroud, Shroud. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. Can't believe the things that you say. You've been a little bit silly, aren't you, with the words that you've been saying recently? That's not very nice, is it? No. For those who don't know what I'm talking about today, we're talking about Shroud and his opinion of Arc Raiders and his lack of opinion for Expedition 33. Just the other day on the 5th of November, remember the 5th of November, he said to everyone, he said that Arc Raiders is possibly the most amazing, most magnificent, beautiful, most aesthetically amazing masterpiece game there ever was, and that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 was absolute dog shit, horrible, the worst game ever. Just kidding, he didn't say it exactly like that. I'm just exaggerating for effect. Basically saying Arc Raiders good, Expedition no good, vote Arc. And that's great and all. You know, if you like a game, that's great. I'm happy for you. You like a game? Good for you. But the problem is, with all that, is the fact that he hasn't played said Expedition 33, which leads to the problem that we're currently having on the world of X, on the world of the internet. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Arc Raiders, we're going to talk about Expedition and Shroud's comments around them, and I'm going to try and give my thoughts and opinions and my counters to them. Let's get into it. But before all that, if you do enjoy my commentary today and my thoughts and my opinions, then be sure to hit the like button, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on the whole situation, and if you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and make sure to follow me on X, where you'll find me rambling daily about these type of things. All right, now let's do this. So the first point we're going to talk about is Shroud directly calling out for Arc Raiders to be voted for as Game of the Year, explicitly to make it the point of not voting for Expedition 33. First of all, I get being excited for a game that you absolutely love. Totally, 100%. But telling people to vote for a specific game just in spite of another game, that feels really off. That feels really dirty to me. So for context, and so that you know where I'm coming from, I love Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I love everything about it. The character design, the world design, the architecture, the music, the combat, the narrative, the personal message of grief and understanding grief, getting over grief, or the other side of it of being dragged into grief that you can't escape it. I love how the game plays on that perspective, on that theme, that identity of the game. All the consequences, whether it be good or bad, play out in that scenario. The way the game is designed based around that narrative is just absolutely phenomenal. I think I might have cried about 4 or 5 times in the game. It's just one of those games which is just, for me, it's absolutely a masterpiece. An absolute masterpiece. And for anyone who's not played it, play it. You know who I'm talking about. He's in the name of the video. It's not just me saying it, it's everyone saying it. You know a game is good when it's not just marketing that's selling the game, it's word of mouth. This game has sold 5 million copies, mainly based on word of mouth. You cannot get away from this game. It's got everyone talking about it. This is one of the games that's going to last a lifetime. This game is going to be passed down to kids and their kids, and so on and so on. It's going to be one of those that's going to be in the pantheon of gaming. For as long as we exist, and as long as we're talking about games, this game will come up 100%. But anyway, my point is we shouldn't be voting for games just in spite of another one. If he had said Arc Raiders was a great game and I think it should be Game of the Year, and just stopped it there, I mean, he would have still been wrong, but it wouldn't be as controversial as it is right now. But the fact that he brings it up in the context of we need to stop Expedition 33 from winning, it sounds so dirty. It's so fucking wrong. Obviously, he's gonna say vote for Arc Raiders because he loves the game, but if it wasn't for Arc Raiders, would he be telling everyone to vote for something else just in spite of it? I don't know, but it just sounds so sketchy, especially when you talk about how the Game Awards are rigged and never the right game wins. What are you doing? You're doing the exact opposite thing. You're doing the exact same thing that you think is unfair. After he plays the games for like 70 odd hours in 1 week or whatever it was, comes out and says, Arc Raiders Game of the Year. No. And that's exactly would have been the point. It would have been over with. This conversation would have been done, but no, he doubled down with the Expedition part, which is, like I say, is dirty. I think it's just Just a shitty way to go about it. Then he doubles down on the framing of it all, saying FPS or multiplayer games don't get the love, the deserved love that they should do. Saying that they're always underdogs. What? Single player games always win Game of the Year, and it's bullshit. I mean, yeah, a lot of single player games do win a lot of awards, but we're not talking about it as if it's a single player game. Yes, it is a single player game, but we're not talking about it like that. But we're talking about it in a way that has revolutionized its genre that it's in. We're talking about a game that sits within the RPG genre. Now, I don't know about you and people who are watching this, but I feel like RPGs haven't hit the same way since probably the early 2000s. When I talk about RPGs, I'm talking about traditional classical RPGs, not talking about action RPGs or games that have RPG elements. I'm talking about classical RPG games, which this is one of them. The whole genre has kind of been stale for the longest time, with a lot of developers saying you can't do turn-based. Square Enix, the very company who turned turn-based as popular as it ever was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, even they came out and said turn-based is dead. We don't do that anymore. We're moving on. RPGs have moved on. So the fact that we have a turn-based RPG game made by a brand new company with only 30 developers who have shook the entire gaming stratosphere, that is a remarkable feat. What Sandful did, taken to what Squaresoft did with Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy was a very popular title in Japan, but anywhere else, no one was really playing RPGs. Yes, RPGs existed in many other forms across games and board games and all that jazz, but the fact is, within the gaming community, that wasn't really a thing. That's not something that really stood out. If it wasn't for Final Fantasy VII kicking the doors in on the gaming community and saying, hey, we're fucking here, if it wasn't for people being like, okay, yeah, I play it, then potentially this genre of game probably dies a long time ago. But it didn't. And then over the course of the last 20 years, it feels like this type of game is slowly eroded away. Don't get me wrong, those type of games still exist, but they're not really kicking down doors, or they're not hitting the market in the same way that God of War or Red Dead Redemption or any of these massive games are going to hit. There's no games, or there hasn't been any real games like that. You could say Persona 5 did that, but there hasn't been any real games that have really kicked the door in to the RPG scene and lit the world ablaze. Nobody's done that. It's been a dying genre, to be honest with you. Square Enix have never been on top of it at all for like the last 20 years. I enjoyed Remake and Rebirth, but Final Fantasy 16 sucked. Final Fantasy 15 sucked. Final Fantasy 13 was okay, but I really didn't enjoy 2 and 3. What else is there? But other than that, name a game. Name a game. Name a turn-based RPG classic that has hit the world by storm. There probably are great games. There probably are great games in that genre, but what other game is hitting the world by storm? None of them. None of them. You can't name one of them. Can't name one of them. Please don't name any games in the comments and make me look bad, okay? Great. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Expedition 33 has revolutionized a genre. A genre, to me personally, I feel like it's been dying for the last 20 years. As soon as Square became Square Enix and they fell off their perch, no game has really come at me and said, wow, you know. There's not really been a game that's been like, oh my God. Not until Expedition 33. Everything in Expedition 33 is a reminder of how good Square used to be. And at the end of the day, when we talk about Expedition 33, what you're going to find is this game is in the pantheon of great games. This game is an outstanding game. And in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, the same way that people still talk about Final Fantasy VII as one of the greatest RPGs, we will be talking about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. No exception to that. I will be passing it down to my kids, and hopefully they pass it down to their kids. And I imagine a lot of other gamers at my age will be doing the same. Even not at my age, even people in their 20s and in their teens will be passing this game down. What I'm trying to say, it's that type of game. It is that game. It's that game that's hit this hard on the community. It is shattered expectations of itself and shattered expectations of the RPG community. The game is a reminder to all other developers of the standard that they need to reach if they want to impress gamers, impress other consumers about what it takes to make a game that's going to resonate with someone for as long as it needs to. I've seen a lot of people talk in defense of Arc Raiders, saying it's going to have a lot of longevity, and I can see the point of that. What I do know is Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is out in the next couple of days, next week or so. You think a lot of people are going to be playing Arc Raiders when that drops? I don't know. They're just going to be moving on to the next FPS as people normally do when it comes to that genre. Just another game in a long line of games that isn't really doing anything different. And sure, Arc Raiders might be fun. It might be a load of fun. I can see a lot of friends playing it on Steam, and I can see a lot of people saying good things about it. And for the people who are enjoying it, I do generally hope you are enjoying it and you're having a lot of fun with it. Let's be honest about it. Are you going to be playing this game in 10, 20 years? Are you going to be still thinking this game in 20 years? Are you going to be thinking about this game in 2057? Well, I know for sure people are going to be thinking of Expedition 33 in 2057. You know what I'm saying? That's why, for me, it deserves Game of the Year. So this is my final point, and I won't make it long. But we had a comment from Shroud, and I gotta read it here. Says, all fucking awards are rigged anyway. Who cares? I never voted, but I'm going to vote this year. With that, I kind of agree. It feels like in some cases, these awards are rigged in a way that it's promoting a certain agenda. And to make that certain game win is to promote a certain agenda to say you're agreeing with it or you're on board with it. First example being, for me, was 2020. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima should have won in 2020. But no, it lost out to The Last of Us Part 2, which the less I say about, the better, because I thought that game was trash. Decent gameplay mechanics, but the story just did not get on with it, and I didn't feel like it did anything different to the first one. And then in 2024, we had Astrobot win. Astrobot? Seriously? Don't get me wrong, it was a fun game. Nice little quirky game to play when you got some downtime, but was it anything else other than just fun? And especially when you consider what it was going up against. Obviously, the main game last year was Black Myth Wukong. I haven't played that game, but I know a lot of people were pissed off that that game didn't win. Everyone just preaching to everyone else about how good the game is, you know. Everyone just thought that should have won. For me, personally, I played Silent Hill 2 Remake, and that game just had me bawling like a baby. That was an absolute masterpiece for me. I thought that should have won. But you know what they say, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, so, you know, it won. But that's just another example of the awards being fixed or rigged or whatever you want to call it. So I kind of agree on that point. The main problem here is that at the same time you're complaining about it being rigged, you're trying to rig it, my dude. You're trying to rig it. Like, what are you talking about? The hypocrisy is outstanding here. Like you're saying, don't make that Expedition 33 game win, because you know how good it's been. You know how many people are talking about this game. You know how this game has affected the community and what it's doing and what everyone is saying about it. But you haven't played it. And you know it's going to win. I think you said you know it's going to win. You're rallying everyone. You're trying to do a call to arms to get everyone to vote for Arc Raiders in spite of it. People who probably wouldn't vote because they do enjoy watching you and you're asking them to, they're probably going to vote for it. And now you've just rigged it. You've just rigged it from genuine voting. You're complaining about it being rigged at the same time trying to rig it. So explain that one. And on top of that as well, you've not even played the game. As Asmongold expressed, you have 0 hours in the game. You have no level of equivalence to say which one is better or not. And I'm in the same boat. I haven't played Arc Raiders, but I can fairly admit FPS games aren't really my thing. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is probably the only one that I've really loved. And Call of Duty in general is probably the only FPS franchise that I'll probably ever give time to. I have no time for any other ones. Having seen the game, having seen what it does, how you play it, it doesn't spark any revolution. It doesn't spark any evolution. It doesn't do anything different to the last 5 FPS extraction shooters that have probably come out this year, never mind, you know, over the last 10 years. Like, what are we talking about? And saying that, I'm here. I'm not telling people to vote for Expedition 33 in spite of Arc Raiders. I'm telling people to vote for Expedition 33 because I think it deserves it, where I don't feel like I get that same energy from you. I've kind of like ad-libbed this. I wrote a script, but I kind of like don't know how to say these things. It's all chaotic up in my mind here, so like I kind of like try to stick to the script and then riff, and then I get it all messed up. So hopefully this comes across in a more presentable way once I edit it and it makes sense to everyone. But that's pretty much all I got to say. All I could say is I hope you do play it, and I hope you realize, like the rest of us, that this game is an absolute masterpiece. And I hope you do think, yep, that was a worthy winner of Game of the Year 2025 when it does happen. For everyone else who watches this video, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think Expedition 33 is the greatest game of 2025? Do you think Arc Raiders is the greatest game of 2025? Or do you think any other game is the greatest game of 2025? And do you think all the games are fine? And we should just burn the Game Awards? What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video today, hit the like button. If you like the content, subscribe as usual. Follow me on my socials, specifically x.com/RustySabita. And that's it for now. I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, guys.